Do betta fish like things in their tank, or is it something that is more visually pleasing for us humans and pet owners? Hello, and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. Today, we're going to talk about betta fish and things in their tanks. And I think the best place to start off is to talk about how it's okay to sometimes keep your betta in an empty environment. And let me give you a couple of examples of what that means. There are 4 temporary types of environments that are actually better when they are empty for betta fish. And those are a hospital tank, a breeding tank, any kind of jar or plastic container for the grow out and jarring phase of growing out bettas when they are preparing to be sold. And lastly, the shipping bag where bettas are shipped. All of these environments have something in common where they all benefit the betta fish by being as empty as possible, but for different reasons. So let me explain those one by one. The hospital tank, you want an empty environment that is very minimal and easy to sanitize to prevent any bacteria or viruses from lingering in the tank afterwards. This way you can reuse your hospital tank over and over again without getting the next fish that gets put in there even more sick or infected with a previous virus or bacteria. In breeding tanks for bettas, any sort of extra materials can make it more difficult to find eggs. Therefore, it's sometimes more beneficial to have a pretty barren environment. And when you are jarring a fish, you want to make sure that there is nothing the fish can get caught on and tear its fins, because when you want to grow out your fish before selling it, you want to make sure that it's got really nice, clean, and healthy fins that can't get caught on anything, especially if you are growing up a show fish. Those fins definitely have to be pristine. And lastly, when it comes to shipping bettas, as the fish is being transported and moving around, you don't want it to hit itself or bump into anything. So an empty bag with nothing, just water and some oxygen is all the betta needs to travel as safely as possible. All of those environments have improved safety due to adding less or not even adding anything inside for the bettas into the container that they're in or the tank that they're in. But can keeping a betta in an empty environment actually be a bad thing to them in any sort of way? Well, let's talk about that next. A large empty tank can actually become an intimidating and scary place for a betta fish because the fish can feel that it is exposed. If it has no place to hide from other fish, and this is a community fish tank or a female betta sorority, it can definitely be very stressful because fish like to be able to hide away and be able to feel secure around other fish. An empty environment also means that it will be more difficult to maintain a cycled environment, especially in a cycled aquarium, because there is less surface area for beneficial bacteria to colonize. If there are no live plants in the environment, then there will be nothing to absorb excess nutrients as well as nitrates out of the water, which is also very beneficial in a very balanced environment, especially if it's a permanent home for your fish. So how do we know if betta fish really like to have things in their aquarium? I like to think about this in a slightly different way by changing the question to a different one, and that is, do betta fish interact with their environment? Because if they do, then it plays some importance to them. If they do not, then it's not that important. Some of the things that I've observed with betta fish is that they do like to hide, which that provides them with some comfort and rest, as well as it's a type of way for them to hunt. They like to sleep on the cork, which goes back to the resting part. They will observe, nibble, and investigate objects, and that provides visual and physical stimulation. And betta fish utilize objects in their environment to help them spawn by creating a bubble nest under a leaf and or other plant matter. We also know that betta fish have a brain. They are smart. While they are not super intelligent like your maybe pet dog would be, they can still recognize things. They can predict behaviors and then be able to expect a certain outcome. They will manipulate their environment and interact with it. So therefore, I think that bettas do very much enjoy having things in their aquarium, and I really think it provides them with a much more enriched, stimulating, and enjoyable life. So let me know if you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more super fun, awesome pet content. Thank you so very much for taking the time to hang out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!